So after Georgia absolutely demolished Michigan, we need to talk about the rematch that many people have thought we could see since the onset of the playoffs. And even I was talking about how this was a matchup we could see before the season even started. Before we hop into this, y'all know the drill. I want to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes, N for no. Are you excited about the rematch of Alabama and Georgia in the national championship? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below. Those interactions are massive to content creators such as myself, and both getting picked up and maintained by the YouTube algorithm. But with all that being said, let's hop right into this. And let's first start off with Michigan against Georgia, where Michigan got blasted last night. And look, Georgia we knew was going to come into this game and try and mitigate Michigan's run offense, which has been good all year long, and they had no success against that Dogs defense. Michigan had under 350 yards offense on the night, and they lost the turnover battle. And if you are going to be playing a team like Georgia, with a defense that has been as solid as their defense has been all year, you cannot lose the turnover battle. Michigan throwing 2 interceptions, 1 fumble lost, and if you have 3 turnovers in a game, it's going to be very hard to win that game. If you have 3 turnovers in a college football playoff game where the team across from you is a quality opponent, it's going to be next to impossible. And that same line of logic continues when you talk about playing a quality opponent that has a top defense in college football. If you're just giving them the ball, they're going to keep it away from you. They're going to play keep away, and it's not going to be a good time. And that is exactly what we saw yesterday. Michigan absolutely couldn't handle Georgia in the first half. Were able to get some things shaking in the second half, but by that point, it was too little too late, and the game was pretty much a foregone conclusion. But that steps us into a rematch that many people have thought we could see, especially on the onset of the college football playoffs. The Alabama Crimson Tide taking on the Georgia Bulldogs. Because the Georgia Bulldogs' one loss this year came at the hands of Alabama. And this is a game that's going to be very interesting to see. What teams make the adjustments necessary to come out on top? Because I've seen some people online saying Georgia learned a lot from that game and they're going to make the requisite adjustments to be able to try and affect Alabama. But the inverse will also be true. Alabama has things that they will make adjustments to be able to try and capitalize against the Georgia Bulldogs defense and team in general. It's going to be interesting to see how injuries play a part of this. We got good news yesterday as Alabama fans that Emil Ekiyor seems like he could be a go for the national championship according to Nick Saban. That's going to be something we have got to keep an eye on because right now the offensive line for the Crimson Tide is going to be paramount. Crimson Tide field the Heisman winning quarterback who's been sensational all year, and the last time he played Georgia when he was given time, absolutely picked apart that Georgia defense. So we know what happens when you give Bryce Young time. And what's even scary for Georgia fans is you know what happens when you can even get pressure on him. He is an absolute playmaker. If you get him out the pocket, it doesn't mean you've done your job. Because Bryce is as effective out the pocket as he is in the pocket. And that's the type of quarterback that is really tricky to game plan for. But that's really a reason why I think so many people are going to be excited to see this game. And I know there's going to be a lot of people who aren't excited to see this game because there's an SEC fatigue. But as a fan of great football, as a fan of college football in the extent that I am, anytime I can see 2 teams that are top teams, unquestionably the top 2 teams in the nation, Alabama and Georgia in my opinion, anytime I can see the top 2 teams go at it, sign me up. But whenever those 2 teams have played, and now we're talking about these institutions making the requisite adjustments to try and capitalize on past mistakes, and in Alabama's case, to be able to make the requisite adjustments to stop Georgia from doing just that, you can definitely sign me up to be there, because that is football of the highest order in my opinion. Football is a game of lessons, and in this game, in this national championship, the lessons learned not only through the entirety of the season, not only in the college football playoffs, but in the previous matchup will be at the forefront. And that, to me, is something you couldn't ask for much more. Now, this is going to be an interesting game for a few reasons. One, because the SEC will bring home another national championship no matter who wins. Could the Crimson Tide repeat in this game? Well, they certainly have the ability to do so. Like I said, the last time they matched up, Alabama came out on top and really dominated that game. But the Georgia Bulldogs have a fire that they need to get out, and they're going to be looking to take it out on the Crimson Tide. And we saw yesterday, Kirby Smart was absolutely not satisfied, doing his best Nick Saban impersonation and understanding that the win against Michigan is fantastic. That deserves to be celebrated to a point, because the job is not done yet. When you are Alabama, when you are Michigan or Cincinnati or Georgia in this case, all four of those teams came to the playoffs to win a national championship. So winning your first playoff game, that's great, but that's not the job. The job is the final game, and that's where we're going to have to turn our attention to next. This is going to be an interesting week, seeing injuries, seeing practice progressions. Can't wait to hear from the coaches. But most of all, stop by on Monday, 5:30 Central Standard Time, as I will be doing a live stream breaking down the playoff games in greater depth, talking about the bowl games, but absolutely previewing the national championship, something I'm really looking forward to. I'd love to see you there. But with that, hop down to the comments. Let me know what you thought about yesterday's games, and then let me know what you think about the prospective matchup of Alabama and Georgia in the national championship, repeating the 2000 national championship in matchup, but now we need to see if Alabama can repeat in result. Hop down to the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.